Hello, John here, your friendly remote CPA. Now we're going to talk about how to pay the Indiana Department of Revenue for our clients who are based in the state of Indiana. So in our other video, we went through how to pay the IRS, and it's a similar process with paying the Indiana Department of Revenue, except with the remote CPA tax software, which we mostly love most of the time. They do provide a method of making electronic payments to the IRS, albeit it's not the best because you can't change or cancel payments after they're scheduled. But with the state of Indiana, there's no payment to pay through the software whatsoever. So I have no ability to schedule payments on behalf of our clients. So that means if you have a balance due or if you need to make estimated tax payments, you have to go directly to the state's website, which is called INTIME. So I've got Google up and I'm just going to Google INTIME DOR for Department of Revenue. INTIME is a relatively new system, but it's pretty good. So it's maybe a little more robust than what the IRS offers, so that's great. As with any government website, you always want to make sure it ends in a .gov domain. We don't want to head to any of these weird other things. So we've got INTIME here. We've got the Indiana Department of Revenue. This isn't exactly the home screen that I was looking for, so I'm going to click Go to INTIME. Okay, so here's the home page, and the full domain is intime.dor.in.gov/eservices. And it takes you to this screen. It does allow you to have a username and password. This is best used for businesses, especially those who have to pay withholding or sales or food and beverage tax. For individuals, you've got a few different options here, but what we're really focused in is making a payment. But right under that, you can see you can manage your scheduled payment. And what's nice about that is if something changes in your situation, like you hit the lottery and you know you need to increase your estimated payments in the future, you can click this and you'll use the confirmation number that you got in your email when you scheduled the payment, and all you need is that number, and you can log into that specific payment and you can change it or cancel it or whatever you need to do. So in this case, we're going to go to make a payment. And if we just did a routine tax form, you know, your normal 1040, or in the case of Indiana, it's the Form 40, we would have a non-bill payment. The other thing to keep in mind with an extension, reminder, an extension to file is not an extension to pay. So if you think that you're going to owe a balance, it's best to come in here and request your extension and submit a payment with that extension, because that will help you avoid penalties and interest. But if we are just paying a normal routine year-end tax form, or even if we are paying estimated tax payments, we can choose a non-bill payment. It's a whole different ballgame. If you've got a bill payment, that means they sent you a nastygram. We don't want to get into that mess. But what's nice about INTIME is right here they give you the option to pay with both a bank payment, ACH, so it comes directly out of your bank account, or a credit card. The credit card is going to have a fee, and I don't think they take American Express. But for this purpose, we're going to go through the normal bank fee. We're going to choose that we're an individual, and then if you have an ITIN, that's a specific Indiana taxpayer identification number. In this case, I'm just going to use my SOCH, and I'm going to pause the video to conceal my identity. So at the bottom of the screen where you verified your identity, you chose whether or not you were making a one-time payment or an estimated payment. Both screens are exactly the same. You've got the option to pay from a checking or a savings. You put in your routing and account number. I highly recommend pulling your routing and account number from your bank's website, just in case there's a different format with the account number. Make sure that you're pulling the full account number. I know with some IMCU accounts, they have an abridged account number that they use internally. And when you use it for external payments, there's a few extra digits that you need to add. Normally a routing number is 9 digits and an account number is 10, but account numbers are starting to vary more and more. One way to check to make sure that your routing number is correct is to just put it into Google, and it will return your bank's name if you typed it correctly. The other nice thing about these payments, you choose the period that it pertains to. So if I were making a year-end payment for 2022, I would choose this 2022. And you can schedule your payment in advance. So similar to federal, I recommend filing or scheduling the payment to be almost the deadline, usually the day before the deadline. So this year it's April 18th because we have a holiday on the 17th and the 15th falls on a Saturday. So in this case, I would recommend scheduling it the business day before, which is April 14th. And then you just put in the amount, and you can go through the rest of the screens. And most importantly, you'll want to make sure you put in your email and you get that email confirmation, because that is your evidence that the payment was successfully scheduled. I would also print your confirmation to PDF or paper and save it. And most importantly, make sure that the funds are in your account on the due date. And then if for whatever changes, you can come back to the INTIME website and modify your payment later. So hope this was helpful, and good luck paying your taxes.